I love picnics. They have always been fun to me. The playgrounds there tend to have at least one whirlpool slide or some other to make the trips there that much more worth it. Food also is one of the best reasons to go. The smell of burgers and hot dogs sizzling on the grill always causes me to form a puddle of drool at my feet. I'm Joe. I currently live with my grandma and grandpa. The reason being that both parents of mine have been overseas for quite some time. At least, that's what my grandparents claim. Ken and Mark are always the people I look forward to seeing. It's always them and a bunch of other cousins I see every year at the annual family picnic. Now, the playground's fun and all, but the maze close by is the real attraction, especially for a 10-year-old such as myself. It's large enough to cover at least 3 football fields, and it's easy to get lost in its snake-like tunnels. There is only one way to enter and exit. However, there's multiple ways to get back to the entrance. Hey, since it's close to Halloween, let's all try the maze together sometime, I said. Yeah, it's almost the end of October, isn't it? Ken said. I really don't know, guys. How about we just try and stay and be with our families where it's safe? Oh, come on, Mark. You're no fun at all, I said as we went our separate ways. It's during the next day and I can hardly contain my excitement. 2 more days to go, guys, I yelled out loud. You'll blow a gasket, young man, Grandma said as she's trying to calm me down. I know you're excited about the picnic, but do try to keep it down.
Yes, listen to your grandma.
Whatever. I'm going out to see my friends. Be back soon. I notice a look of worry on Mark's face when I see him on the patio. Guys, I just realized that those who go to that picnic site usually smell something terrible. And it's always around Halloween. Are you all thinking what I'm thinking? I think you just don't want to go. Quit making excuses, Ken exclaimed. Besides, there's a pumpkin patch nearby that's known for going bad super quick. Maybe you're thinking of that, he says as we look at where the picnic will be. It's eerily quiet not long after we make our way to the site. The only noise that can be heard is the creaking of metal swings as they move with the wind. However, it was still very obvious that the others were there not too long after, seeing as the place is usually very popular. Wow, the weather for fall is so perfect. It'll be even better with more people here, I thought out loud. Yeah, I bet everyone's waiting until the day off. Let's go look at the pumpkins. I'm sure you can at least do that, Mark, Ken said with a condescending tone. Mark rumbled and whimpered his way to the pumpkin patch. The place was very close to the tunnel maze as well. Aw, look at this sad little pumpkin. I shoved the shriveled pumpkin into Mark's face. It's as wimpy as you, man, I said as a black centipede crawled out of the pumpkin on Mark. Get that out of my face, or so help me, guys. I'm finding some other friends. To tease you. Come on, lighten up for once, Ken spat out. Let's go into the maze. It's almost dark out, so it'll be perfect. We make our way there and start to realize that it got darker much faster than expected. Oh, curse daylight savings. Well. Hey guys, we should totally use the Mark pumpkin and others as landmarks to help us, I exclaimed. Let's try the smallest pumpkins in the beginning and go larger the further in we go. Maybe tomorrow though, guys. The maze is already insanely tough in the day, Ken said as he leaned towards Mark. Otherwise, someone will get ya, he screamed while banging on the tunnels with his fist. Gah! That's not funny! Everyone but Mark laughed. However, the swings on the nearby playground went to the forefront of my mind soon after. They still creaked at a perfect rhythm, but one thing I took note of was the wind not blowing as it was before. I noticed out of the corner of my eye what looks to be a middle-aged man on the swings. I'm imagining things, right? However, just as quickly as the silhouette was there, the swing was vacant as it was previously. I decided not to tell anyone as it would cause unnecessary panic and send Mark to a psych ward, no question. It sounds selfish, sure, but I've waited a whole year to try the maze out no matter what it took. I wasn't going to let anyone change that. See you guys tomorrow, I yelled out as Grandma and Grandpa picked me up on the curbside, scolding me for staying out too late. Waking up bright and early the next morning was one of the best feelings in the world. My friends and I were finally going to the maze, with plenty of time to spare the day before the picnic. I gobbled down breakfast in an instant. My grandparents didn't so much as bat an eye this time when I raced out of the door. They know all too well about what I'm doing. I get to the park and find everyone arriving about the same time I get there. There's also more of a crowd than there was yesterday. "Hey, we're here pretty early," Ken exclaimed. "Let's plan on riding some of the rides until dusk, when things die down a bit." Most excitedly agreed while Mark hesitated. The crowd started thinning out before we knew it. We all met once again around the pumpkin patch while there was still some light left. "Come on, guys. Let's just go already so I can try the maze during the nice sunny day," Mark whimpered. No one hesitated to go after that. "Hey, let's make things a little more interesting, guys. Each one of us should go in at different times and play bloody murder. One of us is the murderer, and they try to tag everyone while playing, and those who are tagged have to scream, well, bloody murder," I explained excitedly. "Ooh, I want to be it. Pick me, Ken said. "Sure, dude," I remarked. "Get ready, Mark." We ignored his whimpering as each one of us went inside at different intervals, with Ken as the designated murderer. We also checked to make sure the pumpkins we placed were still there and not totally rotten. I underestimated how big the metal tunnels actually were. It was just large enough for me to crawl on all fours. I eventually found myself a good ways in, and so far, I've avoided Ken pretty well. However, it was starting to get darker. I could tell because the holes adorned on the ceilings had no sunlight shining through them at all. It wasn't long after that there was a very loud scream. "Ah!" They're really going all out with this, aren't they? I thought out loud. Around that time, it was now pitch black and I was hopelessly lost. Not even the pumpkins were really helping. My hands were desperately searching for a pumpkin and I finally found one. It felt larger than the average pumpkin and super rotten, so much so that the seeds were already out. There was also a pungent smell, along with stickiness everywhere. I must be really far out. Time to go another way. Ah! It was painfully obvious now there was only one left in the game. It was up to me now. However, my mind started to race with more questions than answers. Why were there two screams? And did someone join the game without us knowing? There was a very creepy laughter, heard throughout soon after. "You're next. You can't crawl forever, Joe." My mind drifted back to the man I saw on the swing set in the shadows yesterday. But why in the world would an adult go into the tunnels? It took everything in me not to scream when I realized the possible identity of the pumpkin. "It's time to go home." My heart rate was intensifying to the point that I thought whoever was in there would find me. I crawled faster than ever before. My knees by this point were bleeding from the metal. That pain didn't compare to what the psycho would do to me if he caught up. "Some way or another, Joe. I'll get to you!" This better not be some kind of prank, you guys. Mark, if you can hear me, I'm sorry about all the teasing. I apologize. Please be okay. The shuffling was getting louder by the second, so I started crawling backwards. Shortly after making some turns, the face of an older man appeared before me in the dark. He looked like he had not bathed in weeks, and his smile, that was the stuff of nightmares. I wouldn't get that out of my mind anytime soon. It reeked of malevolence, and his teeth had years of decay on them. I pushed past him the best I could when I had the chance. "Nobody will save you now. You're all mine. It's only a matter of time!" He was cooing repeatedly to psych me out. I was crawling now on what felt like wet scrapings and dirt. It must be around the path the old man took. My leg caught onto something that made a loud noise. I tried desperately to get away as the shuffling got louder. "I'm right here!" Ah!
That's enough now. I think Joe gets the point.
"Grandpa?" I murmured. The man forced himself to go to a different direction, presumably to get out of the tunnel. I found the exit not long after. Grandpa was right there in front of the entrance, along with another man who introduced himself as Mark's father.
Mark ended up being at his wit's end about all the teasing, so he, his father, along with Mark's older brother Clark, they came together to give you and Ken a taste of your own medicine,
Grandpa said sternly. You all got us so good, especially sending the man with the bad teeth into the tunnels, and the lifelike bodies. They were so real, I said excitedly with relief. Grandpa's expression then went from a look of anger to confusion.
A man with bad teeth? I don't remember sending someone like that down there.